We're live. We're going live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing very well so far this evening. I'm Jeremy, and Movies Are Terrible, and you are joining us for yet another edition of the Movies Are Terrible Live podcast right here on YouTube every Thursday at 6 p.m. CST. And I'm joined as always with my co-host, Caleb Miles. Caleb, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Just got off work, exhausted, but I took a shower before we hopped on here, which is a first. I never take a shower right before.
Do you feel like it kind of like pepped you up, woke you up,
It
put
really
you back
did.
in the game?
Yeah, plus it made me a lot less stinky, which is always the good part of a shower.
Maybe I need to take a shower.
Shower once a week.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty interesting and novel
Dude,
idea.
I hadn't showered. This is disgusting. I haven't showered in 2 days because I just haven't had time because like my wife's been working, so it's work and taking care of my kid, and by the time that's done, I'm so exhausted. Dude, I was smelling pretty ripe. It was disgusting.
The kiddo was all like leaning back from you, like,
Yeah,
no.
sorry. It was rough, bro.
Shout out to the chat. What's up, everybody in the chat? Want to say hello to Tyler Adams, Patrick McCabe, Spiky2999. What's up, buddy? Daryl, Jay Wolfie, King of the Hills 34, Momentum Media, Patrick Stewart, Lost Fortune. Good to see some new faces in here. Mark McKeever, did I say hey already? What's up, dude? Jay Wolfie, it's a whole thing. I'll go ahead and let you in on it real quick. The reason why there are so many fewer moderators is because there was just too many and some stuff was getting deleted off of the channel, so I wasn't sure what was going on, and I just said, fuck it, I'm going to purge everybody, and yeah, so that's what I did. But what's up, man? I ain't seen you around lately, so thanks for stopping by to be a part of the conversation. We got Tweety Games in here. Yeah, thank you guys very much for stopping by. If this is your first time being here, do me a favor. Take a second to click the subscribe button. That way you can check these out week after week after week, because we have fun, huh, Caleb?
We sometimes have fun.
What do we do other times?
I don't know. We just gaze into each other's eyes. That's what we do.
Well, it's been a very eventful week if you consider sitting on your ass and watching stuff busy. I don't know, man. Is that qualify?
I don't know. That's my entire life since the pandemic, so I think it counts as busy.
All right, good. Then I've got a lot to report to you, my friend. I watched a movie called Blood Vessel on Shudder a couple of nights ago. Blood Vessel is a World War II based B horror movie where a group of British soldiers, maybe they were American. Fuck, I don't even remember right now. But they were soldiers that were set adrift at sea. Their ship went down, and they come upon a Nazi fighter boat. I don't know anything about this stuff. Like a ship, like a naval ship. And on board the naval ship, there's no Nazis. However, it turns out that there's this like ancient Nosferatu type vampire monster that starts turning the crew, and it was fun.
It sounds incredible. Sounds like a great B movie horror film.
Yeah, and the effects, like the monster itself is pretty cool looking, but it's very clearly just a, kind of shitty latex mask.
It reminds me of, I watched this, I don't even think I discussed it on the podcast, but there's one where it's about a bomber in World War II, and there's like a gremlin on the wing horror film.
Yeah.
Complete garbage, but it was fun, like it's not a good movie.
The one with the gremlin on the wing?
Yeah.
We talking about Twilight Zone?
No. There's a newer movie with what the hell's her name? Here, I'll go to my list. I make a list on Letterboxd where every movie I watch the year because I forget them. So it's with let's see, well, it's by God, I can't remember her name, but it's a bomber movie. It was on The Shadow in the Cloud.
Okay, haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, it's with Chloe Grace Moritz. And it's good when it just knows what it is, and it's a B movie horror film. Really, really good. But then it tries to be like really have a super strong message of like feminism and all this stuff, which fine. If you want to make your movie about feminism, more power to you. I don't care. It just feels so out of place at this like super schlocky B movie World War II horror film.
Where did you watch it at?
Hulu.
Okay. All right. What else, man? You seen anything else this week?
So something I didn't see this week, but I don't think I think we talked about it off the podcast, but I don't think I actually did, which is my movie of the year so far,
Oh wow,
which is Fatherhood with Kevin Hart.
you
Who would
did
have thought
mention that to me.
Yeah, who would have thought Kevin Hart would have my, my film of the year?
Not me.
Dude, my God, I've never cried so much during a movie ever in my entire life.
I
Like,
mean, when you're a new dad and it's called fatherhood, it's just got to hit different now.
dude, I literally watched it with my daughter in my lap, and then she was like, look up at my face and like touch my face, like, why am I crying? From beginning to end. I think honestly, I think if you're a father, it will hit you way more. But I would highly recommend it to you as a husband. Just watch the opening scene. If you don't cry at the opening scene of this film, you have no soul.
All right, well, that we'll test it. We'll test the water and see if I indeed have a soul. I'm leaning towards yes, but we'll find out soon. Because I cried just a lot. I mean, dude, you catch me on the wrong day and like a commercial, like an inspiring commercial will make me cry. I don't think that's a good thing. I might need to get that looked at.
Dude, I never used to, but like ever since I got sick and then became a father, I cried at everything.
Okay, dude, so I saw something fucking fantastic this week, and it's very specific to who I am as far as my age and upbringing, but there is a movie, it's a documentary on Hulu called Dumb, the Story of Big Brother Magazine. First of all, are you familiar with Big Brother Magazine?
I don't think so, as far as I know.
So Big Brother sprouted out of the West Coast skating scene in the early 1990s, like when skateboarding went from being all ramps to mostly street skating and like all of the
So it was like a Thrasher type magazine.
it was the other yes, it's exactly what it was, only Thrasher was for the squares and the normies and the mainstream ones, and then Big Brother was like very provocative, explicit.
It was more the underground, punk rock.
Yes, exactly right. And Wee Man, the dwarf skater, the guy from Jackass and all that stuff, he was featured heavy in the magazine at first, but Big Brother Magazine essentially turned into CKY, like Bam Margera and all of those guys started making skate films that had pranks and stunts intercut into them, and then a producer guy approached Big Brother Magazine and said, hey, do you guys want to turn this crew into Jackass? So it's basically the long origin story of Jackass, but tracing it all the way back to the early 90s when it was like super integrated into the punk scene.
Are you a Jackass fan, CKY
Love
fan?
that shit. Love it.
No, I knew it.
Fucking love it. Grew up with like just obsessively watching CKY, but we would get our hands on all the skate tapes, and like I was kind of one of those guys like I don't know, more like Steve-O or like Johnny Knoxville. Like I was in the culture, but I was a shit skater.
Yeah, I never, and this is because I was just an outsider to that culture in general. Like I never skated, I never did anything of that nature. There are movies I like about it. Like we both loved mid '90s.
Very good. Jonah Hill's featured heavy in this documentary.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's kind of my exposure to it. And then of course like playing Tony Hawk and all the normie stuff.
For sure, that too. Yeah, I loved all that shit. But I was like 12 years old when I started going to like Inner Light and Water Boys and all those places and buying decks and getting the vans and the airwalks and all that shit. But
did you have the finger decks ever? Was that?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever
yeah, of course.
That
dude.
I did have.
What's up, Nick Mayfield? And I just saw Daryl is in the chat as well. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, really good stuff. And just so you guys know, I haven't seen the What If trailer yet. I know that's what everybody's talking about. I definitely want to check it out. After we get done streaming tonight, I'm going to watch it, record a reaction, and then I'll report back with you guys. I'll send that out tomorrow. But we do have lots of cool topics that we're going to discuss tonight. Caleb, any more movies you want to touch on real quick?
Nothing that I've watched, but something that I am very, very excited about. And I was like, damn it, Marvel, you got my money. As I finally watched the Shang-Chi trailer.
Yeah.
And yeah, as Tony Leung in it, it has Abomination.
Yeah.
It has like, it literally, I'm like, you bastard. You just hit like some of my favorite actors, some of my favorite characters. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
This one does. This one looks good for sure, and
It
I
looks
was kind of
damn
on the
good.
fence about it as well. So that's exciting. Okay, so real quick, I saw Fear Street 1994. That's the first
How
in
was
the
that?
3-part trilogy. It's better than American Horror Story. You know, like it's
Okay.
it's pretty good. It's not great, but for what it is, like I really enjoyed watching it. I think it's fun watching. The second one comes out tomorrow, and then the third and final one comes out next week. So I will be reviewing the thing in its entirety when it gets finished and kind of just looking at it all in this 3-part review. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, it is definitely a postmodern kind of slasher movie that really leans into the like that weird 90s era of slasher movies, you know?
Yeah.
Your Screams, your I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all of that stuff. And because I am a mark for the 90s shit, the entire soundtrack's like garbage and fucking Weezer.
It's on
and
Netflix, right?
yes, it's a Netflix
Netflix original.
original. So I recommend that. I saw Luca, which is the new Pixar animated movie. Highly recommend that. Thought it was really good. Thought the kids were gay at first as I was watching it. For like the first 30 minutes, I was like, oh, this is definitely a kid's version of Call Me By Your Name. And then I saw that they made that joke already on Screen Junkie. So I was like, fuck.
Well, and I know a lot of people are saying that, and I'm like, man, can we just have not sexualized children and be okay to have fucking friendships?
Yes, we definitely should be, and I'm here for it. But dude, for like 15 or 20 minutes, I didn't know. And it's okay.
I think that's because you might have had gay tendencies towards your male friends as kids.
Whatever, dude. I mean, look, laying in the same bed together and masturbating mutually is not gay.
Back to back, as long as you're not looking each other in the eyes.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, and I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music last night. Dude, I've been watching shit like every day.
I almost watched that because it's on Hulu. Is that where you watched it?
Yes.
Okay. How is it?
It's fun, man. It was a good time. It's as good as any of the other Bill and Ted movies, you know? Oh, I cut out for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's as good as any other Bill and Ted movie, so take from that what you will.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting like a cinematic masterpiece.
No, I enjoyed watching it, and I think the girls are actually very good.
Not movie related, but before we move on, I have been going through the Resident Evil remake, just beat Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, yeah?
And playing Resident Evil 3 remake. Those games are absolutely incredible. So if you guys are gamers and haven't played them, even if you don't like Resident Evil, highly recommend.
Excellent. I always liked those titles. I haven't played one in an eternity, so that's kind of cool to hear. We are going to switch gears, and we are going to talk about some of the week's weird news headlines. This first one is like the most American imagery that I've seen lately, and I think it's something that we should all celebrate. So real quick while I pull this up, Caleb, what do you think, man? Have you seen this?
I just saw it right now. Yeah.
West Virginia.
I didn't realize it's a video.
And I can't play the music in it, but suffice it to say it's John Denver's Country Roads. It's the Zook cruising on one of those weird, like, elevated skis. It kind of looks like that boat from Tenet, and he's flying an American flag. And to me, it's just like, okay, we've got fucking Silicon Valley billionaire, like one of the true Illuminati members here flying over the country. Like, it's so patronizing to me. I don't think patriotic's the right word.
Patronizing is more than patriotic, I would say.
It's I ain't trying to, I'm not like, dude, you're his live streams where he's like sitting out back like, I'm just barbecuing some stuff up and grilling human food because I'm a human being. It's like, I don't know, dude, you're making me suspicious. I don't know if you really are a human being.
Now you're like, I don't know. Yeah, you're like, now I'm questioning if you are actually a human being because you're trying way too hard.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
If there was an alien, they would be trying this hard to prove they're a human being.
Yes, correct. But at least he doesn't have the mime makeup on in this one, but that would just take it a whole different level because he would be a fucking literal clown out there.
I wish he had mime makeup. That would be great.
So anyways.
I wish he was just wearing one of those masks like the trailer from Sexy Beast. like a total furry mask. Have you seen this trailer?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, like the dolphin one, the creepy dolphin mask from Sexy Beast.
Dude, that show looks so weird.
I'm in.
Have you watched it?
In.
Is it out yet?
No, I don't know if it's out.
Did you see the picture of the Zook with the mime makeup on?
No, I didn't see. Is this a real thing?
Yeah, and it's not mime makeup. That's the thing about it, is it's actually suntan lotion, but it is so thick, dude. It's so thick. Oh, come on, Us Weekly, get out of here.
Lotion? Okay, let's see.
I mean, hey, dude, you get out there and protect your skin. I'm a Floridian.
Dude, that's straight up dead presidents.
It is. It's Erik Draven out there on the fucking cruising. What is that thing? It's like a motorized surfboard, because there is no like waves anywhere around him.
I've been working in the yard a lot lately. This is how I'm gonna start wearing my sunscreen. Completely pass it up and just peek over the fence at my neighbors.
Ah, dude, he is the Joker. Yeah, anyways, shout out to Mark Zuckerberg and all the other billionaires profiting off of selling our fucking identities overseas.
I know.
Shout out to you guys. You're the real heroes. You're the real heroes. Oh, man, what's more American than that? Caleb, what is more American than that? I was thinking, like, I don't know, an eagle shooting a bottle rocket is pretty American.
What about shooting a bottle rocket at an eagle?
That is American as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's nothing more American, I don't think, than tailgating and dipping your fucking hot dogs into, like, cheap, like, natural ice beer.
Dipping hot dogs into beer?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a real thing?
I don't know, man. I know. But for real, though, yeah, what we would do is
I don't know. You're from Florida. That sounds like some very Florida shit.
We would take pocket knives and we would cut the top off of a beer can. So you got to open, it's like a can cup at this point, and then you take your hot dog wieners and you stick them in the beer can, and then you set that over the fire and you have beer hot dogs.
Okay, that sounds. I thought you were just like milking cookies, yeah, just like dipping hot dogs and eating them. I was like, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, hot dog eating contest, pretty fucking American. Dude, Joey Chestnut American. Puts them back.
I don't know, but isn't like the champion the little tiny Japanese dude?
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now.
So maybe that's now nothing more Japanese.
There's nothing more American than appropriating Japanese culture.
That's what it is.
What else is pretty American?
Anything with guns. Guns are pretty American. Shooting stuff is pretty American.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Shooting
sure.
stuff, money is pretty American. What can we mix together? I don't know. Those are pretty American. Like just going to a firing range in general, pretty damn American.
Yeah, like a gun rack on the back of a fucking. I don't know, man. I'm trying to be fast-witted here, and it just ain't fine. I should have taken a shower.
Apparently, it didn't help me. So.
Oh man, what's more American than bumper stickers that are like just caked all over the back of somebody's vehicle?
So I hate to say this, when you see bumper stickers caked on someone's back of someone's vehicle, you can 99%, without even looking at the bumper stickers, know which way they politically lean.
Hold up. This might be a regional thing, because what are you about to say now?
Because anytime I ever see, it's always like coexist, no war for profit.
That's so funny.
Weed. It's definitely like, it's everywhere I've lived, covering the back of your car in bumper stickers is clearly like a more lefty thing.
That is so funny, because dude, I take pictures of them because I'm a fucking sadist. And it's always like the don't tread on me, fucking, if you're riding too close to, if you can read this, get off my ass. I'm like Second Amendment shit. So exactly the opposite. However,
so it's regional.
You live in Denver and I live on the Gulf Coast, so it actually totally makes sense.
It totally makes sense, because I always say, like, anytime you see someone with that, first of all, anyone who puts that many stuff on their car, a little crazy. You can have one, maybe two. Anything more than that, it's a little crazy. But,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, and over where I am, it's always like I'm sure this is probably true for you. It's always a piece of shit car, super beat up, and then just plastered. We also got a lot of Subarus with them. A lot of Subarus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Logan Talks Movies. What's up, man? Stephen Baker in the chat. What's up, you guys? Doing good, man. Doing good. Nothing is more American than Karen's. Completely agree. No, nothing's more American than Karen's. Completely agree. That's from Lost Fortune. Stephen Baker says hanging out of the car trunk to scare other drivers. Yeah, there we go. Justin Scarneggi says, I don't know if I butchered that. I apologize if I did. What's up, Jeremy? Would love to ask you your take on who is behind the TVA. Don't know if you remember my previous comment after a few months ago about Kang the Conqueror being the next big bad in the MCU. My quick abridged thoughts on that are, while sometimes introducing a character in the finale of of a TV show, or sometimes introducing the villain in the third act works okay. However, if there's a mystery, and that reveal is predicated on answering the question of the mystery throughout the rest of the series, I tend to think introducing a character at the very, very end like that is a little bit of a cop-out, because how could you possibly put the clues together without knowing, unless you're a comic book fan? I'm totally cool with Kang the Conqueror being the bad guy. They did it really well with Thanos by not introducing him, but I feel like that late game reveal of being some big character like Mephisto in WandaVision or Kang the Conqueror in this, it's like, I feel like this is Loki's story. I feel like Loki would be the best villain, like another version of Loki. So that's kind of my take on it. However, I'm wrong all the time. So Caleb, what do you think about that? Like, when there's a big mystery set up and the questions being asked ever since the beginning, who is the one pulling the strings? And then when you find out who's pulling the strings, it's nobody that you've ever seen before. Is that what do you think?
Do I think that? I think I like that approach.
Is that like viable for storytelling? Can you think of examples of it working versus not working?
I can't think of any things. I will tell you right now, that's definitely not how MCU is going to handle it. They do foreshadow very, very heavily. So it is someone you know is coming. And I think that's, for as far as marketing, that's smart to build hype. You know, you don't want to reveal it and be people like, who the hell is that, except for comic nerds? Because that's not their audience, despite what people think. That's really not who's seeing. They see them, but that's not where they're making their money from.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a really good point. And it would be not completely out of the realm of possibility, but highly unlikely that they're going to introduce the Phase 4 villain of MCU on the television series, unless it's just like a little tiny...
It'll be a teaser.
Yeah. Tyler Adams, you said, I think they are laying in Kang breadcrumbs to pull the rug out from under us. That's what I tend to think, like the whole Mephisto / Agatha Harkness thing from WandaVision. However, part of me does acknowledge that if it ends up being one of the characters that we've known all along, maybe that will feel a little like a retread of WandaVision. I'm up for it, man. I'm open to whatever, if it's a good story that's being told, I'm cool with it. I'm not the fucking screenwriter, but if you ask me, I feel like the proper way to do it is to establish and set up the character so that when the mystery gets revealed, you're like, oh, wow, didn't see that coming, instead of, oh, wow, how the fuck could I have seen that coming, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. There has to be, anytime you're doing a reveal like that, there has to be enough breadcrumbs to where you're like, oh crap, I didn't see it, but not so much that you're like, okay, I knew it was coming, but not so little that you're like, yeah, how would I have ever predicted that?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we'll move on. Thanks for the question, though. Good to talk about, and you can check out our thoughts with Holden Hardman, or my thoughts with Holden Hardman, for episode 5 here on the YouTube channel. Also, the reactions over on his channel. I'm going to be doing the finale review on this channel next week as well, so make sure you guys stop by to check that out. So last week we talked a little bit about a slip and slide snafu. We talked about a water park that, no, it wasn't a water park. It was like a reality TV show where there were like 40 contestants that got sent home because one of them came down with a severe case of diarrhea, so they had to shut down the pool. And I don't know if this is directly related to that, but I do know that the CDC recently released a graphic, a GIF, to kind of guide you if you're in a public pool, like what to do in that situation, Caleb. I don't know if you pulled up that link, but
I just did. I just press play too. The GIF.
so CDC.gov says don't swim or let your kids swim if sick with diarrhea. One person with diarrhea can contaminate the entire pool because that's how water works. Learn more ways to keep you and those you care about healthy. Don't leave your mark at the pool this summer. It only takes one person with diarrhea to contaminate the pool. Ugh. Go one more time. Ugh.
Yeah, that's not a good GIF. I mean, I get it gets the point across though.
Yeah, what kind of people, and I know this is almost kind of like a rhetorical question, what kind of people don't know to not take your kids into the fucking pool with shit, like with diarrhea?
I mean, it doesn't shock me. I mean, does it really shock you that people let their kids swim with diarrhea?
No, dude, after this show, literally nothing surprises me.
Who does this? Florida. This was a specific Florida announcement.
They made it for Florida. Oh, hell, dude. Let's see. Yeah, that's just good stuff. I'm glad that the CDC put that out there to inform just the general public. And it's, to me, it seems a little bit late in the year, you know? It's not exactly
definitely.
May.
Like it's always, we're at the end of it right now. We're at the end of the poo slides. Not at the beginning of it.
I mean, but for real though, what's more American than taking your 5-year-old to Big Kahuna's or down to the water park with diarrhea and just letting them swim in there?
Just be like, dude, you know it happens all the time. They'll be like, this kid's annoying me. They're shitting all over the house. Let's get out of the house.
Dude, I'm not one of those kids, but I remember there would be kids that would like take the water into their mouths and like spit it like a fountain. You know what I mean? Like they take the pool water in and
yeah. Well, that's why they have to have so much chlorine in these things, because it's disgusting.
Would you use a public pool?
I have. I probably would, you know, but it's disgusting still.
It is disgusting, and like the public pool, like go down to the public pool and go swim. I don't know, but I will go to like Big Kahuna's, or I'm saying Big Kahuna's like anybody knows what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
it's a water park.
I have no idea. I'm assuming that, but I've never heard of Big Kahuna's.
It's a big, nice water park here in the area, and I always really enjoy it. But I just think about like, you know, thousands and thousands of people pissing in there all day long.
Oh, I'm sure people piss in there constantly.
And whatever else.
Yeah, it's
whatever else is leaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Whatever you're excreting, I'm eating. Patrick McCabe says, chlorine is your friend, burns your eyes, but don't drink poop. They have Big Splash in Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right, well that's, anyways, there's a little bit of current information from the CDC, because apparently we're bored of talking about coronavirus, so just throw a little kid with a streak down the slide.
A streak. That's what's really plaguing the world right now.
Florida man gets knocked out by Muay Thai kickboxer and MMA fighter Joe Schilling. So this is according to Deadspin, and there's actually a video that goes along with it. What a class act this guy is. He claims he was defending himself against, quote, the evil in this world. Because when you see this guy,
man.
Oh, man, he's a beast. And there's this drunk dude at the bar. Where's the video at? There's a video in here somewhere, dude. Okay, here we go. Beyond Kickboxing on Twitter. Footage emerged of former Glory Tournament champion and Bellator fighter Joe Schilling assaulting a man in a bar dispute. The fighter took it to social media and claims it was self-defense during a life-threatening experience. Caleb, you're an MMA fan.
Yeah, I was actually very familiar with this story.
What's wrong with you people?
This is one of those things I hate. This is the thing that like MMA does not need, because there's already that stereotype of like it's a bunch of barbarians running around beating the crap out of people. He was not worried about his life by this drunk prick. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy who he punched seems like a prick. Seems obnoxious.
Yeah.
But you can't assault the man.
I mean, from where I'm sitting, one of them looks like a real prick. I mean,
Yeah.
of course that dude, he looks like a preppy little douchebag, like I'm a fake business guy. Apparently he's a busboy. He's a drunk busboy who's dressed like that probably because he just got off work and went over there and drank too many fucking drinks. And he's obviously a douchebag. I'm not trying to say that guy is like not a douchebag. He definitely is, but Joe Schilling is a fucking killer, dude.
Dude, like that. I think he was charged. I mean, did you see the picture of the dude in the hospital?
No, I didn't see any of the aftermath.
Yeah, this dude, if you can find it, he is like hooked up to like a breathing apparatus and stuff.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where, I mean, you're a trained fighter, you can't do that. You can't do that to someone. Like you can't. And the whole thing is, here's my thing. I know he's being prosecuted now. I wonder where the video comes from because he uploaded it, so he must have access to the video.
Apparently, it was his homeboy that shot the video, so the whole thing was set up.
So, just imagine the thought process that went to this. It's like, oh, this dude's acting like a prick. I'm gonna go knock him out.
Yeah.
You think his boy would have been like, bro, don't do it. No, I'm gonna go do it. Nah, dude, don't do it. Don't risk your career. All this shit. Oh no, can you record it for me? No, dude, I don't think that's smart. Okay, then he goes records it. Okay, can you send it to me so I can upload it? Like,
at no point was somebody like, hey, this is probably not a good idea.
And he's straight up like, he's like, oh, I was worried. You weren't afraid of this little guy. And he walks up and he pushes the busboy out of the way.
Yes.
And yeah, like he initiated the assault. The guy was being annoying, and he does seem like an obnoxious prick. And we've all probably been obnoxious at some point in time when we, have drank too much or whatever.
Yeah.
We all have. You don't beat the shit out of someone for that.
And even, especially when you've got so much training on your side. First of all, shouts to Lizard King. I hope that's a Doors reference. I appreciate that. Jim Loves Art. What's up, guys? I'm glad you're here, Jim Loves Art. It's good to see you stop by for a live. But when I worked at the Pensacola Beach subway many, many years ago, there was a strip mall next to us with two bars in it. It was the Islander and the Break, and they're both just little dive bars. And there was one night where out front, there was a guy in an altercation with his girlfriend and two other drunk guys. I mean, everybody's drunk. It's 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. Come walking out and they see this guy just, verbally assaulting his girlfriend. And they're like, hey, dude, they try to intervene. Guy turns around and just hits one of them one time. Dude falls back, hits his head on the pavement and died, Just fucking boom,
100%.
lights out. And that was it. And turns out that the guy was a former MMA fighter and he got charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, and that happens way more common than people think, Like people it actually just happened to Israel Adesanya. His friend, his training partner got sucker punched outside of a bar, who is an MMA fighter. The guy who sucker punched him, I don't believe killed the dude. Killed the MMA fighter outside of a bar.
Holy shit.
This was like right before this happened,
People are wild, dude.
Yeah, and then on the other end, like, this is one of those things, and I told you, where I grew up and all this, I've seen people like Joe Schilling try to be Billy Badass and they'll knock someone out. Well, guess what? There's people out there who they're not fighters.
They're not living by your bullshit code of honor, yeah.
There's other people who are you think you're hard, there's other dudes who will shoot you in the face and not think twice.
Yeah.
There's always someone bigger and badder and meaner and crazier than you. Always is.
Yeah, that shit made me mad. And I get it. If for anybody that does say he's justified, I guess you could, I don't know. I didn't see outside of this context. But Caleb, what you said, I didn't even think about. It was like, hey, dude, go stand over there. I'm going to walk by this guy, brush into him so that he confronts me so that I can put him on his ass on video. And it's like, if the dude was like yoked or big or looked like a fighter, maybe it would have been a little more impressive. But sucker punching some little fucking nerdy dude and knocking him out is not a good look for a professional fighter.
Dude, it's not a good look for anyone. Like, I would look like a jackass if I walked with this dude and punched him. You know what I mean? And I'm not a professional fighter. I'm just a big dude. Like, I would look like an asshole. But this dude's a professional fighter, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty tall. He looks it there.
Yeah.
You know, he's over 6 foot, guaranteed.
Well, shout out to fucking Joe Schilling. Drunken bar fights in Florida. Can't think of too many things more American than that. So that was a good one, but this is just traditional, good old movies are terrible conversation right here, Joe. We're taking it back, baby. This has got all of the Florida buzzwords in it. Well, it's got 2 of the Florida buzzwords in it. 250 gators removed from Walt Disney World since 2016 attack on Boy. That's a lot of gators, man.
That's a lot of gators. So I didn't even know there were gators in Walt Disney World. That's how uninformed I was.
No, they roll in there because, weird fact, Pensacola is actually the same size as Walt Disney World.
Really?
Area-wise. And Pensacola's not huge, but it's pretty sprawling. But that really just speaks more to how fucking big the Disney parks are, you know? So they pay trappers $30 for every captured gator, and then proceeds from any leather and meat sold. Did you know people eat gator?
Oh, I've eaten gator. Really
you like
good.
it?
I like gator.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's salty chicken. That's what I always say. It's like really salty chicken.
It's a pretty good call, yeah. So 250 alligators from Disney properties in 5 years since a 2-year-old boy was killed by an alligator at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Do you remember that? I mean, it was a long time ago. Me and you weren't doing the podcast, but yeah, like a little 2-year-old infant was just sitting at the shore of a like one of their resorts had a little retention pond or something in it, and the gator just came up out of the water and grabbed the fucking kid right in front of their parents while they were on vacation.
Was it like a gator that, like, because I know they have like the safari and all that stuff there? Was it a gator?
It was not one of their gators.
It was just one that wandered into the park.
Yes, and that's actually a good question. That is for clarification, because Disney is so sprawling. I do believe this headline's a little misleading. It's not like there are fucking 250 gators running around in the Magic Kingdom. That's what I thought at
first. I was like, holy crap. I was like, because I know they have that safari section. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of gators.
Yeah, dude. Lane Thomas Graves was killed in 2016, and then Disney installed a wall and put up reptile warning songs along waterways throughout its resorts. So yeah, there was just a waterway, and the kid was standing on the side of it. Disney guests have said they're glad the resort is proactively removing gators from its properties. A biology expert agreed, adding that the removal should have a minimal impact on the Florida alligator population. Let's see. Last month, a 9-year-old daughter, Gabriella, spotted an alligator in the water, and they told the campground employee, and they were informed that traps had been placed to trap the gator. But, okay, so this is also definitely a lot of tourists that are reporting seeing alligators, because if I fucking reported it every time I saw an alligator, like, they're common, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it would be a story if I reported seeing an alligator just walking around Denver.
Right.
But I'm assuming that's like saying, maybe I'm wrong, this is how common I picture them, is like to be like, oh, I saw raccoons around Denver. You're like, yeah, that's part of living in Denver.
Yeah, like 100%. Like for an American going to Mexico, when I went, I was shocked that like iguanas are like they're lizards. Like you're like, oh, you guys have lizards there, and you look around and like, because they're not inconspicuous. They're like 1.5 feet long on average, so you just see them like chilling up on ledges and stuff, and that was wild to me. So do y'all have...
probably like rattlesnakes in New Mexico.
They're
just there. You see them all the time.
Do you guys have lizards common in Colorado?
No, we're just like very much, I don't know, just very much mountainous creatures. We get bears, mountain lions, that type of thing, but elk, all of that, but nothing like, not really lizards. I mean, I'm sure they're here, but not a problem that we even think about.
Insects?
I mean, just like standard ones, you know,
ants,
nothing like crazy.
Flies, not mosquitoes though.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got a ton of mosquitoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ton of mosquitoes.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are the killer here, man. It's so nasty. They're just, you can't even go out for 15 minutes. Shouts to Alex Mackey. Hey, Jeremy, first time on the stream and subscribe today. Came from Holden's channel and loving the content so far. Well, thank you very much. Always good to see new faces in the chat. Glad you stopped by. Stick around for a little while. You'll learn that it is a full-on zoo over here on the Movies Are Terrible YouTube channel.
Really cool community over here.
Alligators. Drunken Florida men getting knocked out. We got it all. We got it all. Is there anything else that needs to be removed by the hundreds from amusement parks?
I'd say the people who go to Disney World every couple of days.
Yeah. Let's go even more specific. Let's isolate half of the audience right now. How about adults that go to Disney World without their kids?
No, that's okay. That's fine. But if you're going like once a week as an adult with no kids.
I appreciate that, man. That actually gives me a little bit more leeway because I am totally one of those adults that goes without kids.
No, that's totally fine to me.
What else? How about people that don't wear deodorant before they go to the park?
Well, we should just exit all of them from society anyway. I actually had this manager who she was super like hippy dippy and she didn't wear perfume. She didn't wear deodorant. And she'd be like, oh, deodorant's just a scam, this. I'm like, bitch, you stink. Like, it's not a scam.
You are proof positive that deodorant works.
Like, I just want to rub deodorant on my face after I hang around with you. Like, just cover my body. I want to look like Zuckerberg with the white, but with deodorant after I hung out with her. Awful.
Yeah, dude. Florida theme parks, I really love them. And they're also just incredibly awful when you go and you're in these really densely populated lines and it's 105 degrees outside and it had just rained, so everybody smells like wet dogs. It can get gross. It's
like LA. Like everyone in LA's gone nose blind. But if you go to LA and you haven't been there and you're like in a nice store, you'll like walk into like a nice store and people are in suits. But it's so freaking hot. You're like, you guys all smell like sweat, and no one realizes it.
Yeah.
You've all gone nose blind to the fact that you all smell like
You're
sweat.
You're just used to it at this point.
Yeah.
This is fanny packs. Patrick Stewart said fanny packs need to be gotten rid of by the hundreds at theme parks. King
what
of the
about
Hills,
the new style where people wear it like around them, like a purse,
like a bandolier?
Yeah.
No, those are cool. Those
you
are
should
cool.
get one of those.
Have you seen the new? There's like a new speaker system. I've been seeing ads for it like crazy on YouTube, and it's like a bandolier, and it's got this like bass thing that's like Tony Stark's arc reactor that goes in the middle of your chest, and it's like you can feel the music. It's like, yeah, you put a vibrator on my chest.
I don't want to feel it. That doesn't sound enjoyable.
It's a weird idea. I kind of want to try one just to say, but King of the Hills 34 said, I was not to say I'm going without kids next year, but my friend's dad works there, so free admission. Well, if you need some company, man. If you need some company.
I think we should both get fanny packs and just carry nothing but one thing of chapstick in them, and that way you can unzip, put on your chapstick, put it back.
Yeah, keep it nice and airy in there too.
Yeah, it's a very good look.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and switch off from the weird news and switch gears over to it's kind of a good transition because it's a mix of both. Because apparently, Ecstasy is back, baby. Ecstasy is back. It was so 90s. Like, it was between like 1994 and probably maybe 2000, maybe even 2002, when like the club scene was so big. It was almost like the 1970s all over again with disco. And instead of being disco, it was like progressive trance and drum and bass and jungle and all sorts of stuff. And so the club scene was really big. Raves were really big. Warehouse parties, all those kind of things. Music festivals. And people were just popping X like mad. Like, not just like fringy people, not just hipsters like hippies or freaking, drug culture people, but like mainstream celebrities, like the cast of Dawson's Creek and Party of Five and all that stuff. People were just talking about it all out in the open. I knew kids at school that didn't smoke pot that would take ecstasy. So like it was a very common thing back then, and since then it's kind of all but disappeared. But the funny thing is, and because I haven't heard about it in eternity, but apparently Jada Pinkett Smith passed out on the set of Nutty Professor after taking bad ecstasy, and she revealed this on Red Table Talk. What you think, man?
That doesn't shock me in the least. I mean, does that shock you at all?
I don't know her by. I know that she's a musician and she sang in a band, so I'm not surprised to find out she would partake in drugs. I'm really shocked to find out that any of these big actors are popping X pills on the fucking set of the movies.
None of this shocks me. None of it all. You've been around the creative types. You've been in the music industry just like I have. You've been around. It's so many drugs in that situation at all times.
So Jada Pinkett Smith opened up about her past struggles with substance abuse on this week's Red Table Talk, which featured a discussion about drugs and alcohol. Sitting alongside her mom and daughter, the actress recalled an eye-opening experience she had on the set of the 1996 film The Nutty Professor, saying, "I had one incident on Nutty Professor. I passed out. I went to work high, and it was a bad batch of ecstasy. And I passed out, and I told everybody that I must have had old medication in a vitamin bottle." She revealed that that was the last time substance abuse interfered with her ability to work. Note the specificity of that statement.
I was going to say, that was very, very specific.
She learned how to handle her shit.
She's learned to not do it at work, essentially, is what she said, or handle it at work.
Yeah, just a little bit smaller doses, like microdose ecstasy before Red Table Talk. She said, "I tell you what I did, though. I got my ass together, and I got on that set. That was the last time. Brown liquor and vodka were her favorite drinks. I could drink almost anybody under the table. When I moved to red wine, like, this is better for me because they say red wine is good for you. But drinking red wine for me was like drinking glasses of water because I'm used to that hard in it." So yeah, she went hard. I think people just went harder back then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just in every aspect. I mean, if you look at like the statistics of like everything, like down to like, remember we did the story of the fact that millennials just don't have sex.
Yeah.
Like millennials, despite all the talk about how crazy we are and all that, we don't do a lot of drugs. We don't have a lot of sex. We're pretty much squares who sit behind a computer screen.
I am as old of a millennial as you could possibly be. I think like I am like either the cutoff or 2 years either before or after, depending on who you're asking.
I'm smack dab in the center.
Yeah. And I feel like the world has changed, and I know this is like old people talk at this point, but the world has changed so substantially, and the things that I thought were cool then, like, I'm so removed from now. And the things that I think are cool now, I thought were the lamest things in the world when I was a teenager.
That's just age.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's just age. I'm the same way. Like, I see things that younger people do, and I'm like, that's so freaking lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's worse is when you see people who are our age, but still do the things that young people do. And you're like, ooh, that's a bad luck.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. She said her worst drinking days were in high school. I know you drank. When were your worst drinking days?
When I was doing music full time. So 24 to like 27.
Yeah, I was probably 18 to 25. 18 to 23 is when I would go out and drink and go pretty heavy and all night and all that kind of shit. And now, like, I'll drink. I'm not a not drinker. I'll go out and have 2 or 3 beers once or twice a month, you know?
Yeah, I don't drink at all. I will, like, I have it enough under control to where someone's like, oh, this drink's good. I'll take a sip of it just to try the flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
And it always tastes like crap now that I don't drink anymore. I'm like, this is awful. Why would I drink this?
Oh, Mark McKeever is in the theater for Black Widow. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man.
I just saw the trailer to that. Taskmaster's in it. Super cool. Love Taskmaster.
Dude, there are so many of these characters that I wasn't familiar with ahead of time. I got so much grief for not knowing who Alioth is.
So there's a really good like short Taskmaster's comic book. It's drawn very anime style.
Okay.
I don't remember. Incredible. I don't remember when it came out. So who was the other one that you said you got in trouble for not knowing?
Oh, Alioth or Alioth or something. Nobody knows who the fuck that character is, dude. Even the person that got mad about it don't know who they are. They just heard it on some new Rockstars video before they watched my shit, and they were like, actually, you can't compare two things that are made of fog to each other. I hate when people say that shit. They're like, don't compare Marvel to DC. Oh, okay. Let's not compare two different comic book publishers that do fucking comic books. Let's not compare.
They especially have been ripping each other off for characters for decades.
Well, it's like, it's so perplexing to me. It's like, don't compare Jupiter to Saturn, bro. They're two different planets. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. They're both planets and they're different.
I had to Google. I've never heard of him.
I'm getting mad, dude. I'm getting fucking mad.
Well, here's the thing, too. Especially for content, like, that's the whole point of what we do. You know, like if we were just sitting around not comparing anything, not having these conversations, not disagreeing, how fun is that to watch?
Yeah, what are we even talking about at that point?
Yeah, you know?
I'm going to start a live stream where I'm just like, hey, what do you think? Put it in the live chat. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start agreeing with every opinion.
Yeah. But you just said, no, I agree with that too. You're right. I did do that.
Yeah. Like that's the whole thing. I hate when people go, or I even hate, this is a thing I've seen when people are like, I hate when people do worst of the year movie list. That's so negative. We don't need that negativity. Oh, fuck off, hippie. Yeah. It's content. It's fun.
Yeah, dude. Like, let's not take everything super serial. Let the anger flow through you. I'm starting a YouTube channel this summer and am curious what advice you would give to someone just starting. Isa, that is a great question. I will tell you right off the bat, look for guidance from people who are succeeding. No, for sure. I will talk to you about any of that stuff you want to discuss. Just message me or hit me up on the community tab over there.
I would also say, be yourself. Don't have a persona. People see through that shit.
Yeah, the most honest advice that I can give you is like what Caleb said. Authenticity is what people claim to want. Now, whether or not they actually want authenticity, I believe is debatable. But they if you can fake being authentic really well, then that seems to work pretty good on YouTube. But definitely, like Caleb said, try to be yourself, be comfortable. Don't just go in and do somebody else's content. However, borrow liberally from everybody you want to. Just try to put your own spin on it. And audio is probably more important than video starting out as far as quality. So that's something to consider.
Yep.
And yes, we will definitely stop by over there and subscribe. So, King of the Hills 34, being Holden's friend group. Yeah, that man's back is sore as fuck from carrying all of us. But it doesn't work. I mean, I've got a lot of great community and support because of Holden's channel, but you can't expect that somebody else is going to be able to.
Yeah, you don't want to go in and attach to someone for that.
Yeah. What's crazy is that, I've been doing this shit for years before Holden and I started collaborating and Holden's channel started blowing up. But you would think like, oh, fuck, I'm in these videos. They're getting 150,000. They're getting 500,000. They're getting 1 million views. And I'm in them. That should at least give me like 20,000 views, right? Right? But yeah.
Yeah, it's not the way it works. It definitely helps, though.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It would never hurt. Absolutely. So I wouldn't be making this big thing about Ecstasy being back if it was just Jada Pinkett making some off-the-cuff remark about what she was up to in 1996. That would be silly. Why would I even just start a conversation unless James Cameron revealed that a Sting song and Ecstasy inspired teenage John Connor in Terminator 2, people? Does that blow your mind?
The Sting part is what blows my mind, not the Ecstasy part. You know, like I don't understand how you're like listening to Sting and you're like, yes, this is what I envisioned this character to be.
All I envisioned is Mark Zuckerberg dressed like Attitude Era Sting on a surfboard. That's totally irrelevant, you guys. Music and a mood-altering substance played a key role in the development of John Connor character in Terminator movies, according to the franchise mastermind James Cameron. In an oral history of Cameron's sci-fi blockbuster Terminator 2 Judgment Day, published by The Ringer this week, the filmmaker revealed that he got the idea to feature a teenage John Connor, memorably played by Edward Furlong, while listening to a Sting song under the influence of ecstasy. So, he says, this is quote, James Cameron, guys. I remember sitting there once, high on E. Nobody called it E. I guess some people did. I always thought it was X, but anyways. Writing notes for Terminator, and I was struck by Sting's song that I hope the Russians love their children too. And I thought, I don't know what song that is. And I thought, you know what? The idea of a nuclear war is just so antithetical to life itself. That's where the kid came from. I hope the Russians love their children too. The song in question is called Russians, and it hails from Sting's debut solo LP, The Dream of the Blue Turtles. In the 1985 track, Sting addresses the Cold War with lyrics like, in Europe and America, there's a growing fear of hysteria, permission to respond to all the threats, and blah, blah, blah. You a Sting fan?
I think Sting's all right. He couldn't have picked a worse Sting song.
I don't know that song,
dude. You've probably heard it. It's not good.
You think I've heard it?
Probably. I've heard
you
it.
know
If
this
I've
song
heard it-
and I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I've heard it, you have.
Russians.
It's very like melodramatic.
It sounds like
belting. Yeah.
Okay. I love the Police.
Yeah, Police much better than Sting.
But Sting got into like that kind of world music, kind of like not like Enya, but like that kind of vibe.
U2, like that, trying to be worldly.
Yeah.
This song is 100% that.
Well, and like even pan flutes and shit.
Yeah.
Like, like just weird instrumentation, percussion and stuff. I like Sting though. I think he's a really great songwriter. He's not like up there with Peter Gabriel or like Phil Collins to me, but he's
no, me either.
He's up there for me. So I like Sting. I respect it. So I guess the reason why I bring up these last two topics, guys, is just, I can't really give you good advice about necessarily how to become the next huge YouTuber, but if I can tell you one thing is that Ecstasy will make you one of the greatest directors in Hollywood, or you may even get to marry Will Smith. So just something to think about. Not advocating it, just saying. You
can even also cheat on Will Smith and he'll still take you back. That's how good it is.
Just kidding, you guys. Just kidding. Subaru79666. Hey lads, I dig your opinions. Did you see the Loki director's Insta story today referencing the new Loki emojis? The last on the list was Fire Truck Loki. Any ideas? WTF? Cheers from the UK. Hey, group members, Team Terrible, members on YouTube. Y'all can hit me with, I think if you type in Loki with a lowercase L, let me know what happens there. I just now added a new emoji.
Oh, snap.
That's not how to do it. I don't even know how to use my emojis.
I don't know how to use these either.
Let's see.
I don't know if I'm a member of this thing.
Oh, here we go. There we go. There's a Loki. So apparently down on the bottom there where it says custom emojis, you click that, you pull it up. I said it wrong. There you go, Random Andy's channel. There's one. There's one. Got a Loki. Got a little splatter tomato. When things get dumb and y'all are tired of the discussion, just hit us with a couple of little tomatoes there.
From
I think
a distance,
it's boo.
the splatter thing looks a little COVID.
It does. It definitely
That's the first I
does.
thought it was. I was like, you made a COVID.
Brian Gresset. Hello. Don't go that way. You never go that way. Not listen, but horned guy in green. Yeah, dude, I made a really funny thumbnail the other day for the next video, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Anywho, so that's what's going on, guys. Just remember, chase your dreams on Ecstasy. That's cool, right, Caleb? That's a good lesson to walk away from.
Oh, that's exactly the lesson.
Good. All All right, well, this is not really huge news. We're going to just kind of burn through these next couple, and then we're going to talk about some origins for Disney villains before touching on the passing of a great filmmaker, Richard Donner, and then a couple of other Patreon topics. So, the new Scream franchise relaunch has completed shooting for its first film. Are you excited?
No, I like Scream. I actually enjoy Scream. Never saw the TV show. Do not care to see a reboot. I'm so over reboots at this point.
Holy shit, is the major nerd himself in the chat? What's up, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you stop by. Hope you're doing well. It's been too long, man. We need to get together. But yeah, I agree with you, Caleb. It's like the first Scream is really good, and then the second one's pretty good, and then the third one's like pretty weak, and the fourth one's like I'm over it. So I just don't know.
Were there 5 of them?
I think there's 4 of them.
Sure, there's not a 5th one.
This is the 5th one. There's a series, an MTV series.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, this is the 5th one. Okay, I for some reason thought there were already 5 and this was 6.
I will
I've
say
seen all 4.
Go ahead. You saw all 4 of them. Did you like the 4th one? Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I thought the 4th was all right. You know, not a like big fan of it. I mean, it's Scream. Really, the only one that's great is the first.
Yeah, and it's only great because just out of virtue of the fact that it's subverting the very thing that it becomes.
Yes.
You know.
Exactly. Like it's such a like deconstructionist, subverting expectations, and then it just turns into what it's kind of satirizing, you know?
So the major nerd has a really good point towards the end of his comment. He says, if Scream wants to survive, for me, it has to get a lot darker. I get that. I think there was a little bit of a polish and a sterileness to the 1990s slasher films. I mean, there were some decent kills in them, but it was always like I would compare them to like the CW movies of slasher films, right?
100%. 100%. They were the teen. I mean, I guess slasher films in general are teen, but they were very much the mass appeal, even though they were, I'm assuming they felt very PG-13.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. And even aesthetically, they were typically pretty flatly lit, almost like TV shows.
Very much. They are like very flatly lit. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not writing it off already. I will definitely see it. I mean, I kind of got an obligation here to check out all the horror movies that come out in theaters. So I definitely will report back. But yes, I can't say I'm overly enthusiastic, especially on the heels of a Halloween reboot being out and being pretty I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of starting to talk myself into it.
Yeah, I'll check it out. You know, it's not something that I'm excited for, but I'm not completely written off of it either. But I'll probably check it out. Like on streaming, I won't go see it.
Well, this is kind of interesting. Kevin Feige says that long-term movie deals are over with Marvel. What do you think, man? Is that good or bad for the future of the franchises? What do you think?
So long-term, like locking them down for years?
Let me go ahead and give you the quote so you get some context. All right. So according to Kevin Feige, that got a lot of attention way back then with, I think, Scarlett Johansson and Chris Hemsworth and Evans and Sam Jackson. It varies now. This is in regards to the long contracts. When asked if the studio is making deals for actors a specific number of films and streaming appearances, Feige mentioned that he would throw theme park attractions into the list of things Marvel Studios makes talent deals. What? Oh, okay. So also they get thrown into theme park attractions as well in their contracts. He says it varies project to project, cast to cast. Really what we want are people coming in that are excited to be in the universe, are excited at the opportunity to do more things, as opposed to being locked into contractual obligations. So what he said there, which, I mean, he speaks incredibly eloquently and always says the right things, but basically what he's saying is by not locking them into multi-picture deals, we can keep them enthusiastic and not resentful. Do you think that he's right?
I think he's right in the fact that they can renegotiate their contracts and they're going to have to pay him more and they're not going to be resentful that they're locked into a long-term contract.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I feel like people like Chris Evans have repeatedly said, and obviously it looks like he's pretty gone now. I mean, as far as we know, but he said several times, like, I don't want to play Captain America anymore. Yet he kept getting pulled back into the fray, you know, where I think if you just say, hey, do you want to come back for the next Marvel movie? Most people would be like, yeah.
I don't even know if most people be, yeah. Because you got to think about it. These people are artists. It's like when bands have a hit song and then they tour and they're like, God, I'm so sick of playing this one song. Like, I have other skill set that no one's seeing. I know if I were an actor, I would hate to play one character and only be known for that one character. That sounds like a nightmare.
That's integrity, but the money.
Yeah, the money sounds great. But when you hit a point of certain money, do you then have enough to where you can start making choices based on artistic integrity? I think you can.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with his thought. I don't know what the actual. He still goes on to say, like, it varies project to project, cast to cast. He's not really saying anything here.
No,
I've somehow got a story out of it. Yeah. He's really not saying much other than we want our people to be enthusiastic and not feel trapped. But I think a lot of them do.
He's saying we want people to not kind of trash us when they leave.
Yes.
And and there has been some of that with that Marvel, whether it's directors who've left projects who are like, yeah, I don't like this. Like, this isn't art and I'm an artist. That is a very real thing with some of the people.
Absolutely.
But, I think being able to renegotiate your contract and make way more money the next time you come in makes that, hey, artistic integrity a little easier to swallow.
Yeah, but I think about Terrence Howard all the way back in 2008, and then the fact that he was the highest paid actor in Iron Man. And
Crazy.
then they asked him to come back for Iron Man 2, but they wanted to cut his salary or his check by 90% or 80%.
Yeah.
And he said it was to compensate for Downey's increase in pay. However, I mean, I don't know the validity of that. I just know that Terrence Howard certainly didn't deserve to be getting paid more than Robert Downey Jr. But the reason why I mention that is because they didn't sign that multi-contract deal. All of a sudden, Terrence Howard has a lot of leverage in his court because, like, what are you going to do? Replace Black Widow in the middle of a phase? Like, Scarlett Johansson, we need her to come back. So if she asks for twice as much the next time, we've got to give it to her. And that's why I don't know that I really believe what Kevin Feige's saying as much.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, that's very, very true. Because, if they want to hold out, they can really, really hold out.
Yeah, the big ones especially, like your Captain Americas, your fucking Thors,
Your main cast can absolutely.
Yeah.
Your side cast can you might be able to recast. I mean, they did it with Terrence Howard, which I still think Terrence Howard was personally better in the role. But they replaced that and no one seemed to really care.
Pierce Brosnan couldn't wear a tuxedo in any other film because of his contract with 007.
Crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, they own your ass, but for a price, I mean, I think a lot of people are willing to do it. Like Henry Cavill wasn't allowed to shave his mustache for Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. All right, we are pretty much done with the movie news stuff, and there are just a constant wave of villain origin stories, live action villain origin stories that are coming out over at Disney. I mean, it's always Disney, but we had Cruella, we had Maleficent 1 and 2, not Disney, but we've got Joker, all these kind of like sympathetic emo backstories for these horrible villains, and kind of revamp the way that we think about the characters. So from growing up, for me, the three biggest Disney movies to me are Lion King, Aladdin, and Little Mermaid. And I know they're not the biggest, but those were just the ones that was right in the sweet spot of my age where I loved all three of those, are the ones that I know the most and love the most. And they all have pretty iconic villains, though I think Scar and Jafar are basically the exact same fucking character, only one of them's got a mane and the other's got a hat. And then Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Caleb, what do you know all these characters pretty good?
I know some of them, you know, obviously the ones you just like, I know Jafar, I know Scar, I know Gaston.
Gaston, yeah, that's a good one.
What are some other ones? All my favorite ones never really have like a main villain, like Fox and the Hound, you know? The villain is racism, so,
yeah.
you know?
What's the guy's name in Great Mouse Detective? I can't remember right now, but they've got a pretty good villain.
Yeah, there's definitely some. The best villain though is the priest from
Hunchback.
Incredible.
Can't remember his name.
No, best Disney villain though for me.
Yeah, so iconic, you forgot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't remember half of these names anyway.
All right, well, which of those three, Scar, Jafar, Ursula, who's got the most potential for a ripe reboot origin story? We've got Scar, the very Hamlet-like. He's resentful of Mufasa.
So we're talking making them the protagonists in film.
Correct.
Okay. So what's Ursula's story? Why does she want to kill or hurt the Little Mermaid? I don't remember.
Because I know so very little about what her motivation is. I'm like, yeah, I mean, the only one with a clear motivation to me is Scar. I have no idea why Ursula wanted to do what she did, and I think both her and Jafar were just kind of like slippery, just opportunists or something.
Yeah, so she had greed and used dark magic. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Why did she do what she did? I have no idea.
What's up, Thomas Gonzalez? He said Scar is the best of them or has the most potential. It's Patrick McCabe says Ursula. Andy says Ursula. Thomas Gonzalez, Jealous Brother Scar is a good one. Jealous Brother Scar is where it's at, I think. I feel like that's the one we can get.
Yeah, that's like the easiest to make him into a protagonist. Ursula was resident of Triton's palace before being banished and exiled. Order of the King. So there's those. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember her, but I say, oh, I got it. Today, we make Ursula the main thing, and we do super, super woke with it. So she's mad because big old built Triton, you know, King Triton, fat shamed her.
Ooh.
And that's what it is. So this is a body positivity movie is what this is.
Oh, so when she's younger, she's Ursula, and King Triton, he scorns her advances, or what, you know what I mean? Like she's
like, no, bitch, you're too fat.
Yeah. And then she's like, when you have your firstborn child, I'm going to take her fucking voice from her.
I'm going to take her voice because, as we all know, any good body positivity person hates skinny people. That's how you be a good human being. You should be fat and you hate skinny people.
You said potty positivity, dude.
Yes, that's even better.
All right, I dig that. I think that would do really well in our current climate. Scar, it's the same kind of deal, right? Like Scar and Mufasa were brothers, obviously, and Mufasa, much better looking of the two of them. Seems like he probably spent more time in the gym, probably had a lot more lioness friends. And Scar was, like, as far as emo origin stories for Disney villains, I feel like Scar is probably the most emo, because 100%. It's literally just out of jealousy. Like, he's jealous of his more successful brother. So I'm trying to tie that into, like, is there some real life example of this? I mean, you got George W. Bush and Jeb Bush.
Just remake it based on that.
Scar is like the Jeb Bush of this movie.
So first of all, you said something that is incorrect. You said Scar was jealous because Mufasa got more lionesses.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure Scar likes the lions, not the lionesses.
Oh. Hey,
I
Queen.
mean, that's pretty. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I can see that. Definitely. Okay. So that's the thing. He always wanted to be like a show lion. Like he wanted to take his act to the stage. That was always his like big goal. He's like, I love theater. And Mufasa's like, dude, we've got to like rule the Pride Lands. We've got shit to do. And he's like, I just want to dance.
He's like, that's my goal, is to rule the Pride Lands. That's what he wanted to do.
Let's go.
I like this story. This is a good story.
Patrick Stewart says Scar and Mufasa are Loki and Thor. That is
100%.
chef's kiss, dude. That's perfect.
100%. Yeah, and then you could have Mufasa's dad like always kind of shunned him, and that's where all this resentment comes from.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, let's go full emo with it.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the next one.
Mascara around it anyway.
He does. You were so right, dude. Scar is definitely gay. You know what, though? If you think about it, and it might be kind of messed up, like, most of the Disney villains are, like, low-key...
Yeah, Jafar's the same way. They're kind of a little more flamboyant.
Effeminate, yeah, and flamboyant. Slender and always suspect. Just like real life.
I'm not even touching that one. No,
I'm kidding, everybody. I have to say that now.
No, you're actually kind of right. That is kind of true, and it's kind of messed up.
Gaston?
Yeah.
What up with that?
100% correct.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. What do they call that? Queer baiting?
Is that a term?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I used it properly, but it is definitely a thing that they say where like, let's see, who else? The priest from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Maybe that's a stretch to say because he's into Esmeralda, but maybe it's because she's... No, he's obsessed with her.
No, he's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
That's why that song Hellfire, man, going back and watching that as an adult, I'm like, this song is brilliant. Because he's like, I have sexual lust for this girl, but it's not my fault. It's her fault. She's a demon for making me feel this way.
That is a dark fucking Disney movie, dude.
Dude, that movie's incredible. It's so ridiculously dark.
It really is good. Thomas Gonzalez, have the money shot in the trailer be Scar saying to Mufasa, I just want to dance.
That's great.
Ursula, definitely based on, was it Divine? What was the name of the drag queen, the trans person that was in all the John Waters movies?
Oh, yeah.
Pink Flamingos.
The girl who ate the dog poop.
Yeah. Filth is my religion.
Yeah.
Dude, Divine is the shit. That
What was the movie? Pink Flamingos or whatever?
Pink Flamingos, that's the one.
That's a weird movie. You've seen it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah, it's amazing. Let me see if I can pull up that final. Oh, yeah.
Could you give us some of your political beliefs?
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit.
Yeah, that's very, very true. That's pretty accurate.
Oh, dude, what a character. So, yes, we're really peeling back some layers with Disney now. I think that it's less about them, like, going woke and more about just, like, making up for the Crows and fucking Dumbo.
Dude, yeah, those are rough.
Burr Rabbit and Burr Bear.
Dude, there are some rough stuff in Disney's past. I mean, it makes sense. They're all products of their time. But there's definitely some stuff that's like questionable.
Mustafa says, stop boring people that not far. You know? You know what I'm saying? All right. Rest in peace, Richard Donner. We're going to wrap this thing up in about 10 minutes here, you guys. We really do appreciate you hanging out. Before I get to the very end, I do want to give a special thank you to all of the Patreon supporters. It's because of you that we are able to continue to kind of push the envelope and grow the the projects and make the podcast more elaborate week after week and add little things like emojis and all that stuff. So if you want to consider supporting the Movies Are Terrible YouTube channel, there's a couple ways to do it. There's a little join button right underneath this video here. You can click that for $4.99 a month. You get exclusive badges, emojis, special content that you're not going to find on the channel otherwise, and all sorts of other little good perks. And also, Movies Are Terrible on Patreon. Head over there and check that out. There's a couple tiers available. Decide which one is right for you, and then when the time comes, you can consider subscribing and helping out in that way. The reason why I like to plug that here at the end is because our Patreon supporters are able to pick the topics for the last segment of the show. So at the end, after we do the movie news, we kind of switch gears, take topics from viewers and listeners like yourselves. So, also, you can check out the podcast in audio form only, and if you are listening, you can check it out live on YouTube every week. So now that I got all that stuff out of the way, R.I.P. Dick Donner. Richard Donner recently passed away. I believe it was earlier this week. That was 1930 to 2021, making him the ripe old age of 91. I mean, this guy was a prolific filmmaker responsible for some of the most iconic films of our generation. And to be honest with you, Caleb, I was not even aware of how many projects that he was involved with.
Insane, especially if you add in his like producing and everything.
Yes,
it's insane. He produced even like Lost Boys, didn't he?
He did, and he produced I think X-Men. Like,
yeah, I think he did.
One of the current superhero movies.
Yeah, I think it was X-Men. I think you're right. So, favorite, I'm gonna guess your favorite directed Richard Donner film. Let's see how well I know you.
Let's go.
Okay, let me try to think. I have two of them that I think it could be.
I got to go through them real quick because I don't.
It's going to be, I think he directed both of these. The Goonies or Scrooged?
You were right on the money, man.
Which one of those would it be?
You tell me.
Goonies.
Yeah, of course it is, man. Fuck yeah.
See if you know me. What would be his one that I would say? I actually need to make sure he directed this, but I think he did actually before I see.
Man, I really like Lethal Weapon and The Toy also.
I know those were Lethal Weapon was my next one for you.
The Omen's good.
Yeah, see if you can guess what mine would be.
We're talking movies, not any of his television shows or anything like that.
And directed only.
I know it's not Assassins with Antonio Banderas and Sly Stallone.
It's not either of the ones that I thought would be yours. I'll say that will be my hand. So it's not.
Is it Scrooged?
No, it's not Scrooged or what's it called? Come on, man. There's one that if you think you should know this one.
I mean, The Omen.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. That makes sense.
It's old. It's black and white. You know.
It's not black and white.
Oh, no, it isn't, is it?
Not quite, but yeah. It's a good one. And
well, yeah, it's what, 75, 74?
Uh-huh.
Right around that area. I love Omen, man. I haven't seen it in years, but that would probably be my favorite. And then Lethal Weapon.
Dude, yeah. All really good, to be honest with you. Like I said, I didn't know how many of these things he was actually attached to. Like, he did an episode of Tales from the Crypt. He did 3 episodes of Tales from the Crypt. He did 3 of the Lethal Weapon movies. He did a movie called Radio Flyer that I remember vaguely as a kid. He did the Goonies Good Enough video, which is cool. Lady Hawk with Ferris Bueller. What's his name? Matthew.
I haven't seen. I've seen that, but not in a long time.
Same. Like I remember liking it. I couldn't tell you much about it. And then The Toy, I loved that movie as a kid. I might need to rewatch it to realize how problematic it is. What do you think?
Is it problematic or what?
I don't know.
I remember it being weird.
I don't know. Maybe that's all it is. It's just weird, but it sems like a little white kid buying a black guy to be his live action figure.
I didn't even think about the race, but yeah, okay, I can see what that would be.
But that's also kind of the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that it's the theme of the show, but yeah, people are the theme of the movie, but people flip out about that shit.
I also liked at the time, but I bet it's not nearly as good as I remember. And this is I was a kid, Maverick with Mel Gibson, the Western.
Dude, I forgot about that movie. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Totally forgot about that. Jodie Foster?
Yeah, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I liked it at the time. My first would be Omen. My second would probably be Scrooged,
I
just because I
thought
love Christmas.
I thought I remember talking to you and you really liking Scrooged.
Love it.
Okay.
I watch it every year on Christmas.
It's a good one. That's a good one. I don't like the ending. We have talked about this because remember,
Yeah.
I don't like the Bill Murray monologue at the end
Now, the anti-capitalism monologue and
with the Pepsi
thing
sign in the background.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just classic fucking Hollywood.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, look over there. They're bad. Hey, look at them.
Yeah.
Fucking don't worry about what I'm doing over here.
That's 100%.
Oh,
What do you
man.
think of the Superman movies?
I hate to say it, dude. I don't care
I
for them.
absolutely despise them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
The,
I want
it's
to
rough.
now that Mark McKeever actually is the one who suggested this topic. Thank you for the suggestion, Mark. This one hurt. This is according to Mark. The quote: "This one hurt. Donner was extremely instrumental in some of my favorite movies, especially Superman. It may seem dated nowadays, but it was groundbreaking for its time. From Williams' iconic score, which is fantastic, that was me editorializing, to the
100% agree with
casting,
that.
which is also great, to one of the best delivered lines in cinema, Superman, easy, miss, I've got you. Lois Lane, you've got me, who's got you? You'll believe a man can fly was the perfect tagline as Donner delivered that image in spades." Okay, thank you very much, lovely sentiment, and I definitely can't, like, it's your experience with Richard Donner that gives me that much respect for him. I was born 4 years after the first Superman was released. So unfortunately, I don't have those kind of fond memories of it from growing up. And when I finally got around to seeing it, times had changed substantially. So I don't want to dog out the movies. Things move fast. And I feel like the sensibilities of audiences, especially in the 90s when I was turning into a teenager, were quite different than the Richard Donner Superman. What do you think, Caleb?
Yeah, 100%. So I grew up watching the Richard Donner Superman because my mom loved it. So I grew up, like, I don't remember not watching it. I remember even as a kid, I hated it. But
Really?
I do think, yeah, I just was like, I just don't like anything about this movie. In fact, I feel like there's a lot of people who hate Superman based on those films. They're like, oh, Superman's boring. He's a horrible character. And a lot of it comes from that.
Oh, you think so?
100%. But yeah, it just never clicked for me. But again, I think it's also the era that we grew up in. It was definitely that era where all the comic books were dark
and
serious.
cynical. Yeah.
You know, so that's always what I've wanted out of comic characters. And he was definitely more the like camp era, which comics were. I mean, comics were campy, and actually I think they're kind of getting back to being campy again. You know, but comics were campy. Like, I'll never be one of those people like, oh, they're always serious. I want that, but there's a ton of camping comics. That's just part of it.
Yeah. We did definitely grow up in the age of the anti-hero. Like, the 90s were all about the Deadpools. Even Wolverine was a dark character. Spawn, Batman was dark at different times. Like, it was a time where being bad was good. Like, that was, like, people all wanted to have that edge, I feel. And I think
100%.
that's what drew me to characters like X-Men over characters like the Avengers. And things are a little different now just because of how, impactful the movies have been. But there was a time when Avengers comics were not selling,
Yeah, 100%. And that was, definitely the era, I think, of the dark, gritty superhero. I think it's kind of gone for a while. It'll come back, but right now I think it's kind of gone.
That's interesting. And yeah, like you said, it probably will come back around. But I guess final note on that is when a person gets to that age, I think that mourning their death is not near as important or as valuable as celebrating their legacy and their career and all of those kind of things. 90 is a hell of an accomplishment in itself. If you're just a fucking do-nothing nobody and you live to 90, congrats to you. If you have a filmography that includes movies like the Lethal Weapon franchise, the Superman franchise, and all the other things that we mentioned, then job well done. So rest in peace, Richard Donner. Your contributions to film will be missed. And thank you for that topic, Mark McKeever. He also posted a tweet And, oh crap, hope it's not gone. Let me try that again. Caleb, can you open it on your side?
Let's see.
Oh, I might not even send you the Patreon topics.
You didn't send me the Patreon.
Give me 1 second. Let's see if this works. Okay. The Boys has started an in-universe digital series that will bridge the gap between season 2 and season 3. Dude, are you watching The Boys?
No, I read the comic when it very, very first came out, and I liked it, but I wasn't like in love with it, so I kind of just never watched the show.
I think it's fantastic, and I'm kind of surprised that you don't like it. But I mean, at the same time, like maybe you didn't get far enough into it. Maybe it just didn't jive with you. But
I think also too, it was right at a time when I'd read a bunch of like superheroes in the real world, how shitty they would be comics. So because of that, it hit me.
I think Invincible's a lot like that. Same kind of thing where it feels like 100%. A very derivative story. They both have a thing that's like distinct enough that they don't feel like clones of each other. But I remember the first 3 episodes of Invincible just being like, damn, this feels exactly like an animated version of The Boys, but it didn't. They diverge a good bit. But yeah, dude, I think The Boys is a lot of fun. I don't know that I'm invested enough that I'm going to start watching and what is a digital series anyways? I mean, aren't fucking all series digital?
I mean, especially The Boys, it's a streaming show.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be by definition a digital series?
In the form of 7 on 7 on VOT News Network. Well, that's kind of cool. Let me see where they're putting it. Digital series, perhaps the most obvious real-life parody that the Boys TV series has done so far. Clearly sending up the likes of Fox and Tucker Carlson, and I think it's unclear when the third. Yeah, it's going to Prime also. So basically,
it's just another season.
Yeah, just another series, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch it. There's just so many shows that I want to watch.
I get it. I don't know why, dude. And I knew you hadn't seen it because you hadn't told me about it yet. But I feel like that is some shit you would like.
Yeah, everyone's told me that they think I would like it. My brother told me the same thing.
That's why you don't like it.
No, actually, I have so many shows, so many anime, so many. I'm like, I just don't have time. I'm still not finished with Sweet Tooth. That's only a couple episodes. I'm only halfway through.
I haven't finished it either. Have you watched any Godzilla Singular Point?
Watched the first episode. I liked it. Wasn't like sold on it, but anime typically you don't fall in love with in the first episode. In my experience, anyway. That's not really how anime works.
When Godzilla finally shows up, which just feels like what everybody says about every Godzilla thing, but he's fucking badass in this anime, dude. I was very, very happy with the portrayal of Godzilla.
Yeah, it definitely is something that I really want to see. Like, to me, that's way more exciting for me to see than The Boys. Like, I'm way more excited about that. So if I'm going to take the time to watch something, it'll be Godzilla before The Boys.
One last topic, and this is a big one. I think this one actually made it into the headlines because of all the things that we discussed tonight. This one might be the most buzzing, and that is that Hugh Jackman is considering Wolverine return after Marvel approached for multiverse role. Hugh Jackman bowed out as Wolverine in Logan, but now a new report claims he's considering a return for a multiverse MCU movie because we only like things that we know. If you give us anything new, we are not going to like it until we like it, and then we're going to want the next thing to be that same thing that we just now liked. Caleb?
100%. You're 100% correct. I honestly think Logan was such a good ending for him as that character. I don't want him to come back. It ended on such a perfect note. Let him ride out into the sunset and get someone new.
So, Hugh Jackman is fantastic. When I first saw the X-Men movies, I was not a fan of the casting choice, of the way Hugh Jackman looked, talked, his posture. None of it. And I've grown a bit since I was 18 years old or however old I was when the first X-Men movie came out. And you know, I've stopped holding those kind of things so precious. And when other people do it, when they're like, "Hey, why is his hair brown? Why is his hair brown? In the comics, it says blah blah," and you're just like, okay. I mean, that's a take, but it's also like, go ahead.
Especially with comics, there are so many billion different interpretations of that character anyway.
I'm glad you said that. That's exactly what I was driving at, is like, nobody is beholden to use the template that you love of a given character.
You know what's so funny is a lot of these interpretations, Deadpool being a perfect example. Deadpool was not that character at the beginning. They totally rebooted him in the comics, and that's when he became popular. Like, he was not the merc with a mouth. But now that version is the one people go by. Well, technically, that's not true to the character either, because characters get rebooted all the time in comics.
Yeah. I'm trying to find if he had a quote. Well, insiders claim Jackman is now open to at least reading a script after Kevin Feige reassured him this wouldn't be the same Wolverine as Logan, but another one from across the multiverse. Get out of here. This is another
Hold
man.
on one sec. My kid is crying. I'm going to hold on one sec.
Yeah, do your thing. I'll talk to him for a minute. Yeah, that's really interesting, you guys, that it would be talking about this as if anything really has come to fruition. This is the most vague kind of everything good, Caleb? Oh. This is the most vague kind of baiting article that I've read in quite a while. So I guess we're just going to kind of diverge from that, because Hugh Jackman basically said, I'm willing to read a script, because apparently Kevin Feige assured him that he'd be playing Wolverine, but not the same Wolverine. That's stupid. Of course it's the same Wolverine. If it's the same actor playing him, I don't care what multiverse he's from.
Yeah.
That's the kind of weird shit that people are like on the show Loki, there's all these different timeline versions of Loki, and people are like, is that our Loki? Is that our Loki? And I'm like, what are you even talking about? They're all just different versions of Loki. I don't get it, man. But yeah, the multiverse shit's getting weird and unwieldy already, and I agree with you. I don't want Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. I started off not liking him. I fell in love with him. Logan is the perfect fucking send-off. Like you said, you can't do it better. You can only fucking dig up a corpse and desecrate it at this point. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. So I'm one of those people, I still hate the first X-Men movie. I still like, the only thing that I ever liked about it was Hugh Jackman. So that's where we're different. First saw it, loved it. And I was like, oh, he's great. Everything else I hate. And then X2 was where I was like, okay, that was Wolverine for me. And yeah, he's perfect. Just let it die. We don't need to beat everything until it's dead and we suck all the enjoyment out of it. We can have good things and let them end.
Yeah. So somebody else, I feel, should step into the role of the character. I'm open to that. I think he gave it a 20-year run. He put his fucking physical body transformations through the ringer time and time and time again. He served his time, dude. So I'm looking ahead, and I see a couple of names pop up when it comes to who could be cast as the next Wolverine, and there's a couple that I like. I think there was a time where I would have thought Tom Hardy would have been pretty great for the role, but now that can't really happen.
Oh yeah, I was like, why can't that happen? Because I was like, that's great casting. That's who my brain went to, but I forgot he's in Venom now.
Yeah, and it's just too big of a character. So where does that leave us, man? Danny DeVito?
That was my go-to. Danny DeVito or the guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Hi, Mia Bob. How you doing? Welcome to the conversation. Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, that's it.
Mario himself.
Who would I don't know. I mean, it can't be like a young and upcoming actor, because that's not that character. You know, he needs to be a little grizzled, a little, I don't know if I want to see, I think the best bet would be to find some actor that's not too big, you know?
In physique or popularity?
Popularity.
Yeah.
That way he can truly embody the role, because I feel like you see this reaction sometimes when you get too big of actors. I mean, I'll take this right away. First one pops in my head. Ben Affleck when he was announced as Batman. too big of an actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people were like already turned off, didn't even give it a shot. You know, it's definitely one of those things where that's just how, you know, I think we need to find someone who's has a little bit of a resume, but nothing too big.
Thank you, King of the Hills 34. Appreciate that. He's like, are we putting Caleb back on the screen or what?
No, we're not.
I didn't want to have your blank window sitting there, but I actually saw Patrick Stewart say next Wolverine, Matt Lane. He's got the stature, dude. He's got the build. When he has his mutton chops out, he could definitely look the part. I've seen Taron Egerton's name pop up.
Actually, that's kind of good.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, I picture. Is he short? Because in my head, he's short.
He is, yes. He's probably, I would say, 5'8", you know?
Okay.
I don't know that. I'm just kind of guessing.
He's 5'9", pretty spot on. I want someone like Kevin Hart short, just a little tiny guy.
So like Tom Cruise's height.
Yeah, that's how Wolverine should be. He's a little tiny, angry guy.
Yeah, dude. I am with you. If we are going to do a recasting, let's go a little bit more true to the comic books. Again, if they hire some 7-foot tall lanky dude, I'll hate him for a movie, and then 16 years later, I'll be begrudgingly like, hey, man, I spent half my life with him. He's all right. You know what I mean? The Carl Urban is another name that gets bandied around. However, he was already in Thor Ragnarok, which not a huge role as Scourge, but he's also in The Boys. Can't think of his name right now, but he's in The Boys also, so that's really big for him to play Wolverine. It definitely needs to
be someone like super rugged, you know, gruff. I just don't know who that is right now. You know,
yeah, you're right. Somebody that's got like a edge to them. That's why I feel like Tom Hardy's kind of the go-to there. Even though I don't know that Tom Hardy really does have an edge, but he seems like it. Rugged male actors.
Like, what's his name? Like, look-wise, he's way too big, but Joe Magnanello, whatever his name is, look-wise, he could pull off it, but he's way too big. I mean, I think he's pretty tall.
Yeah, dude, he's a big guy.
He's a big dude, but, like, look-wise, I could picture that. I don't know, acting-wise.
Rugged male actors, young, because all the dudes I'm looking at are, like, older guys. I mean, Charlie Hunnam pops up a bit.
I could actually see it. I'm not like the biggest fan of his work, but yeah, I don't think it's a horrible casting.
Even like Jamie Dornan with his beard growing out, maybe. Not rugged guys. I don't think any of them.
Oh, I know Jamie Dornan.
He's 50 Shades of Grey guy, I think. Christian Grey. People would love that.
Is he the guy from, I always forget his name. So yeah, I even forget the movie. The movie that's pretty much sci-fi Venom. It's the same story.
Yeah. Life?
No, it's Venom. Essentially what I mean. It's
Upgrade.
Upgrade, yes.
Yeah, dude, Logan Marshall Green. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dude, that is it.
That's the cast right there. I think he's like perfect for it.
And he hasn't been in anything lately, and the guy should be a star.
He's big enough. He's a great actor. You know, but he's not so big where you're like, oh my God, I can't think of anything that could be in.
And a lot of people say he's like Tom Hardy anyways. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Everybody compares him to Tom Hardy. Dude, did you see the movie that he was in called The Invitation on Netflix?
No, how is that?
It's fucking great, and I think you will like it.
I did see that. That's the one where they go to that party. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Weird stuff starts happening. It's like in Hollywood Hills, his ex-wife's hippie house.
That's the one. It's fucking wild, right?
It's really good, man. Really. He has the long hair in it.
Yeah, you guys should watch that, by the way, if you have not seen The Invitation. Let's see, we got some suggestions down here. I like that, Patrick Stewart. Jeremy could be Deadpool. Love it. What about an unknown? Hugh Jackman was basically unknown at the time. That's a good suggestion, Random Andy's channel. Patrick Stewart, thank you very much for hanging out, man. If you're still here, we really appreciate it. The Major Nerd says, I'm 100% believe Carl Urban could do it. Agreed.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones on there.
Carl Urban's Dread, right?
Yes. He would be good.
He would be great. He would be really good.
Erik, I feel like Carl Urban kind of fits into the Hugh Jackman kind of presentation of Wolverine.
Yeah. Apparently, Logan Marshall Green was already in an MC movies in Spider-Man Homecoming.
He was shocker too, dude. Shocker, bro.
Oh, was he?
Uh-huh.
See, that's already screws up our casting there.
Oh, Erik actually saw The Invitation. That's a really good one. That's The Major Nerd, by the way. Random Andy's channel. The Invitation on Netflix with Tom Hardy. That's pretty good. Zac Efron, I don't think would be terrible, man. I don't
either. I've seen that thrown around, and I don't hate it. I actually don't.
So freaking handsome though. Like compared, like Logan Marshall Green, like looks like a regular kind of person, you know?
Yeah.
Zac Efron is just super pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty. I think Carl Urban is like that type of look.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, I agree.
Real rough. Like Carl Urban, he's not a bad looking guy, but he's not like a gorgeous, perfect looking man.
Right. So do we give him the costume?
He was in an MCU movie too.
Who?
Damn it, Carl Urban.
Which one? Oh yeah, Ragnarok.
He was in Ragnarok. Man, everyone's already been in MCU movies.
This for real. That's gonna be a problem one of these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm like, my God.
Yeah. Let's see. Get the guy people keep thinking of Tom Hardy from Upgrade is what Martial Arts Film Freaks been saying.
That's what I was saying.
It's a really good idea, Tristan. Where you been, bro?
What about the guy who played Green Arrow on the Arrow TV show?
Okay, Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Stephen Amell could pull it off. I mean, I don't know much of his thing, but I've seen like one or two movies where he plays a kind of rugged guy.
Yeah.
And
I do kind of like the Unknown idea. But,
I think Unknown's probably the best.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with all of the X-Men stuff in the MCU, but I guess we are going to have to just wait and see, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you guys a little bit more about the week's weird news headlines and movie news headlines and just all sorts of stuff. If you have any suggestions for topics you want to hear discussed on the channel, make sure that you leave those either over there in the chat or down in the comments sections after the video is over. As I mentioned, there is an audio-only version of this podcast, so if you want to listen to us on the go and you don't want to have your YouTube browser up and open, you can check us out on any platform streaming service at Movies Are Terrible. Also, Patreon, Movies Are Terrible, link down in the description. You can become a member today. That way you can show off your fancy badges and emojis and all of the cool content that you are getting exclusively there. Also, you get to contribute and be a part of the conversation in that way. You get priority for super chats and all that stuff pop up in notifications. So anyways, lots of fun perks that I'm working out right now. And we got lots of fun content coming to you soon. Caleb, anything else before we wrap this episode up?
I can't think of anything.
All right. Forever hold your peace then, man. Thank you guys very much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Take just a second to click that little thumbs up button down there. It really helps the channel or something. It helps me feel better about myself.
Jeremy's feelings.
Yes, correct. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the terrible content, all you got to do is subscribe, click the bell to enable notifications, and then cross your fingers that the next time I upload a video that you actually get the notification. If not, just check back every couple days. I'm Jeremy, and until next time, and on behalf of both me and Caleb, be terrible. Bye. Anybody still here? All right. shop. Down here at the pawn shop. Down here at the pawn shop. Down here at the pawn shop.